morning. Welcome to another Dornbusch download, number 61.
62?
62.
62, so April tells us.
Time does fly when you're having fun.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
That's over a year, Michael.
It is, yes, no. Well, hopefully people are getting a little bit out of it. I know we generally enjoy doing it. Some mornings are a little bit more difficult than others, but there's usually enough to talk about, which is good. But yeah,
There's always something to talk about.
Yeah, another busy week, Dan. No doubt about it. I know that you've been away on presentations. You got some good info out of one of the
small cap conference. It's quite interesting, Michael. That I like to go to these just to see where the different markets are heading and what's sort of happening out there. The one I liked the most was a company called Migme, share code's MIG. It's been dubbed the Facebook of Asia. So they're really targeting, Asia, the Middle East, Africa. They've got some 30 million users at the moment. And to put that into perspective, Facebook's got 1.5 billion users. So they're only small in the context of things. But they're targeting for about 262 million over the next 10 years. So potential there. But it's different. We've got our Samsungs. The guys over there are really looking at an Android, $70, so it equates to about 2 months' pay, and that's where this company's targeting. And unlike Facebook, where they're trying to get a business model going, by plugging us with ads and that sort of thing all the time, the users on this can actually buy, condolence cards and those sort of things from Migme and then forward them on. So they're building a sort of a business model into it right from the word go. So
and Facebook doesn't have a presence in China, does it? It's not there, is it?
Is it been banned out of China?
So no.
These guys are in there. I mean, it's massive, just the number of people. I think there's something like 3.5 billion internet users throughout Asia, so it's pretty big. Yeah,
they've got a big, the population base is enormous, isn't it? It's only going to get stronger, isn't it?
Yeah. But I found a few other very interesting companies, Michael. Smart Trans, so mobile payment systems. Too many shares on issue though, unfortunately, about 2.2 million. Rent.com. If you're a landlord out there, worth having a look at rent.com rather than putting it through the paper. You're putting it on the net. They had 418,000 hits on their website last month, so that business is growing. Big Unlimited, that's really crazy. BigReviewTV.com. So if you're a business person, you can get a review on here. And it's all targeted for that generation that we've sort of missed,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the way of the future, isn't it?
It is the way of the
internet-based, social media, advertising, all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's only going to get bigger and bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all there on your phone, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And these are the sectors, aren't they, where we see a lot of growth potential, aren't they? I mean, talking about mining booms, coming and going, all that sort of thing. This technology
a lot of focus
base
on technology sector, isn't there?
It's going to be enormous over the coming 10 to 20 years.
Well,
for sure.
That other company that they've got an app where you cough into it, and the doctor can then, or it'll tell you what sort of respiratory problem you've got. Whether you've got pneumonia or whatever, or you just
that's extraordinary,
isn't
it?
For a sickie, So.
Yeah, and what's it, an 85% accuracy? Oh, no, 95% accuracy.
95% accuracy for pneumonia. That's pretty incredible.
Just extraordinary that you can cough into a phone and then they can tell you exactly pretty much exactly what's wrong with you.
Amazing.
So, no, it's a sign of the times, isn't it? And some of these,
it is a sign.
Some of these ideas out there are really, exciting, literally. And there's some big potential in that sector.
Really thinking outside the box, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess too, Dan, we've been talking bank reporting season. NAB coming out a little bit earlier today with some results.
Around early, weren't they?
Yeah, not great numbers, I must admit. I think cash profit was 5.8 billion, so it was up a couple of percent from last year.
Same dividend,
99 cents. Statutory profit was up a bit, 6.4 roundabouts. But probably the big news out of NAB was the sale of 80% of their the NAB Wealth life insurance business, MLC. Selling that off to Nippon Life, a Japanese company. 2.6 billion they're going to get for it, but they reckon they'll actually make a loss of 1.1 billion after costs and a few other bits and pieces. So that will affect bottom line to some degree, but not a great deal.
But it's all about getting those capital adequacy requirements down a bit, the dollars that they've got to allow. And I think we'll see more of that across the banks going forward, where they'll float some of the businesses out of their actual, the mothership.
Absolutely right, Dan. No, you're 100% right, and that sort of then leads on to also a bit of an update on that Clydesdale Bank sale.
Yes.
So they have extended it out now. That they're now looking at implementing that February next year. So, Clydesdale Bank, of course, with the UK-based bank that was causing NAB a fair bit of problem there.
Well, it's really been a drain on them, Michael, hasn't it?
Massive.
Cash flow-wise. Yeah.
Absolutely, massively. So, thought is now that they're looking at basically demerging 75% of Clydesdale to existing NAB shareholders. The remaining 25% will be IPO'd on the London Stock Exchange to institutional investors. So, more to come out on that, of course. But
and there's a few questions around that, isn't there? Are they going to be listed here, or should we? Yeah,
absolutely.
That'll be interesting.
So shareholders don't need to do too much at this stage. Hopefully January we'll get a bit more info, and shareholders will vote, and the usual sort of stuff on that. Another couple of shares that we've sort of watched, one that we have liked and one that we haven't, that have had the kicked out of them today.
They're bad.
Dick Smith. Crumbled today, back under $1. Came out of Woolworths, of course, there. It'd be a couple of years ago now, I suppose.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Because the market bashed Woolworths up for selling them, didn't they? Because when it was floated, the share price took off and sales, etc.
Absolutely, yeah. But no, again, a typical theme in retail. Basically, had the AGM yesterday. Management's come out and said that that their forecast profit's going to be anywhere between $4 to $8 million lower than what they sort of expected. The figure was 45 to about 48 million, so a drop of say 14%. So
it's a tough environment. Eh?
They have. The shares have crumbled, but one to keep an eye on if there is a bit of a turnaround. But certainly not for the faint-hearted to be jumping into those at this stage, and it'd be nice to see them come back up a bit. The second one, Dan, the one that we've
one not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah, actually that we've liked, and that's unfortunately let us down a bit. Capitol Health, CAJ, the niche, I guess, radiology business. Basically, again, coming out and saying that the Medicare scheme review is not looking overly favourable for the business. So, marketers. That
seemed to be a pretty good announcement that they made today, though, Michael, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of activity happening again in that sector. mergers, joint ventures, that sort of thing.
And heading down the electronic path once again there. So,
yeah, absolutely right.
And probably if it can get some support here at these 40-odd cent levels and it kicks back up through the 50, it could be worth considering for a buy. You just have to have a tight stop loss on it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely right. And that's the very thing, one to definitely CAJ, one to keep an eye on.
Yep.
Maybe this news is potentially a good entry price for them. Be nice to see the dust settle a bit on them and again, maybe see them kick back up a bit.
Get a bit of support again.
Yeah, absolutely. But it has been one of our preferred in this space.
Yeah. Smaller caps.
Yeah, but no, there is some headwinds there again with the Medicare review. But hopefully this is the opportunity to jump in and grab if you're looking for that smaller cap, healthcare type company.
Yep. Yeah. Very good. That's about us, I reckon.
Another busy week. So thanks again for watching.
Cheers.